Good evening and welcome to the July 12th, 2016 meeting of the Manchester Town Council. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first order of business, approval of the June 14th, 2016 minutes. A copy, any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the June 14, 2016 minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have receipt, and we can do these together, receipt of the May 2016 Treasury Report, and also receipt of the June 2016 check register. We have
We'll
a...
do this. Please, go ahead.
Sure.
Let's just do it separate or,
No, I thought we
All
were doing
one.
both of them.
please.
think
I make a motion that we receive the May 2016 Treasury Report and the June 2016 check register.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second, in the discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Mayor's report. I have a couple of things here. Just here before the meeting. What did I do?
You want to break away and go into the public?
Oh, because it's 7:30. Oh, you're right. I always need help with this one. All right. So before we move on here, we'll have a motion to close the general hearing, open up a public hearing in ordinance 224 related to the issuing of 2.1. It's really up to 2.1, right, Kelly? So it authorizes it, doesn't necessarily put it into effect. $2.1 million in debt for the construction of the new town hall and police station. Give a motion to close the general hearing, open up a public hearing.
I make a motion we close the general meeting and open up the public hearing.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we're in public hearing. Is anybody here specifically to speak on ordinance 224 related to the issuance of debt?
I mean, we talked about this last meeting.
We did. Yeah. And Kelly, was there a change? You just fix a number on here? I'm sorry, that catch you. Were there any changes to ordinance 224? Was it just the numbering?
Correct. Well,
Okay.
it's a boilerplate that was given to us by the council, the association. So it was just a matter of putting in mayor versus
That's right.
councilman or whatever the other terms are, different terms.
And for the record, so if somebody's seeing this month or watching on TV at home or listening that did not see last month, what this is, so we have a new town hall / police station that is, I don't know what percentage of completion it is, Mr. Miller could answer that, but substantially complete. This maximizes the options because money's relatively cheap right now of how to pay for that in this year's budget. So there's a series of savings and grants and things that roll into it. This just maximizes the options for the payment. Anything else anybody wants to add? All right, we'll take a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 224.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing on ordinance number 224.
I'll second the motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now, we'll reopen the general session. Mayor's report. So just before the meeting here for Board of Zoning Appeals, sworn two existing members to new terms, Mr. Joe Fortino and former mayor, Mr. Chris DeMario. So they've re-upped for another 4-year term on the Board of Zoning Appeals. Additionally, over the past month, Councilman Smith and I attended the MML annual convention.
And Warner.
Oh, and Councilman Warner, right. I didn't see you there, so it didn't count. The three of us attended. I think it was more well-attended in terms of representatives from around the state than it has been the last couple of years. Councilman Smith was kind enough to show up and accept our award for Banner City, which Councilman Warner was very diligent, making sure that we checked off all the boxes, included all the programs for us. So again, it's only the second year that we have that distinction, but it is an important distinction helping us to gain grants and those things. So we're 2 years in a row now, and there's our plaque that we'll put that on. Additionally, I attended the investiture or the swearing in of Mr. Joe Getty to the Maryland Court of Appeals in Annapolis. I was really impressed. I was honored that to receive an invite to go to it. It was held on the House delegate side of the Annapolis State House. The first time I'd ever really been on the floor there, which was fascinating from a historical standpoint. And there's some speakers from Manchester. One of our attorneys, Mr. Chuck Holman, was a speaker. It was very entertaining and funny, and is always nice to listen to. And the kind words that were said from the governor, past governors, the Speaker of the House, President of the Senate, all very complimentary. And so it was nice to have somebody that, right here from town, that lives here on York Street, that is that distinguished in terms of accomplishments. And the one thing I really took away from that Governor Hogan said is they had done some historical research in, let's say, the 228 years, don't quote me on the number of years Maryland's been incorporated, looking for somebody that had also served at that highest level in all three branches of government. And the highest court in the state, Mr. Getty has served as the chief legislative officer for 2 governors, and then also served in the state senate and the state delegate. Weren't able to find anybody in the history of Maryland that had been at the highest level of all 3 branches of government. So I found that pretty interesting, and I think speaks very highly of Joe Getty. And if you don't know him yet, he's around at town events or at the Dutch Corner, and very entertaining and knowledgeable person to talk to. Moving on, as you're probably aware from the news, this past month we did see the end of the appeal for the school system. Unfortunately, we were not successful in our joint efforts to try to keep North Carroll High School and a few of the other schools open. What that means for our town is increased strain on facilities, and that's for all of us, not just those of us that have school-age children. Obviously, I think the school, by their own admission, will be overcrowded for the foreseeable future, and how that affects classroom size and opportunities is yet to be seen. The good news is that here in town, both from a facilities, administrative, and police standpoint, we have been preparing for that contingency. It doesn't mean that we're going to be able to head off any issues. I mean, we know that Maple Grove over 30 is going to be an issue in the mornings. In the evenings, there's going to be more people trying to find places to park and walk and cross 30 and walk from Beaver Street and all of those things. So that we know there's going to be some issues, and we'll do our best to keep up with them. But we have been planning for the contingency that this would be placed on us. We'll end with some good news here. There were 2 Manchester residents or Manchester area residents that I'm aware of that competed in the Miss Maryland pageant. One lives across the street from me, and her father serves on some boards here, Miss Victoria Graham, if you're not aware of her, but very lovely young lady. And then Hannah Brewer, who's also here in town, participated and actually won Miss Maryland, so the current reigning Miss Maryland is from Manchester. So, pretty interesting. Lots of things going on in town in what is usually a pretty slow month of July and August. That's what I have, and I will turn it over to the town administrator.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the community. We'll go ahead and start with the June administrative report. Under SHA projects, I have in my report that there's no change. I did happen to receive an email today from SHA. We will probably be meeting with them sometime over the next month. It appears that the Route 27 widening project is moving forward. And if you recall, I spoke a little bit about SHA would like the town of Manchester to relocate their water main at our expense. So that meeting will probably be set up over the next 3 to 4 weeks, where we have to sit down and discuss some things with them. There's been no change in regards to the Sheets project. The Town Hall Police Station, that project appears to be about 75–80% complete. That's coming right along. Last month, as you recall, Mr. Schweitzer, a Westminster Street resident, came in, and he did have a valid concern about the condition of the sidewalks throughout the town. In regards to that issue, our town attorney did review our ordinance 19617, which talks about a resolution. And the resolution, which was brought forth back in May of 1989, I wanted to make sure that the town was on solid ground in regards to sidewalk repair and replacement. He did advise us on Friday that we are on solid ground on that, so staff is going to move ahead on notifying these residents. I will advise you, though, that will become a hot topic. I do recall a little bit about that back in 1989-90, and there was some residents concerned about that, so I want you to be prepared, and I want to make sure we were on solid ground. Under code enforcement and rental housing and new construction, we had a meeting on June 24th with our staff and the town attorney. We reviewed both our code enforcement process and our rental housing process. I think the whole goal of not only the town but the staff is to get better control of both of these items. We're going to run a pilot program, which is a very simple program, and Carroll County government uses it. Basically, when they see a violation in the field, they put a door hanger on the person's door or vehicle or whatever it may be. We're going to run that pilot program to see how it works. Actually, over the last several days, we put 5 hangers out, and they do work because 2 out of the 5 responded back. So what we do is the door hanger goes out, and then a letter is followed up. We document everything with photographs, and we go from there. And I think our goal is a simple way of getting these code infractions taken care of, and this might be it, so we'll give it a try. As far as the new development, Manchester Farms Section 7, the model home's about 45% complete, and I did notice that they have 2 additional foundations dug in Manchester Farms 7. Under miscellaneous items, the ADA sidewalk project, the contract has been signed with Aero Engineering for the design and specs, which is on the street. There was a pre-bid meeting which was held today, and again that will be from Main Street to Manchester Elementary School, or we have to see how the bids come in compared to the grant money that we're receiving. The ADA entry location to the Historical Center and the Community Meeting Hall, that has been chosen, and I'm working on the specs for the bid, and again that's going to be coming in the rear of the building. It's going to handle this building, and it's going to handle the existing police station for a community meeting hall. So we can combine everything. It appears using one pad to the back and then a ramp coming through the rear of this building. So moving right along, we'll go over the June 2016 Public Works Report. You have in front of you the water and wastewater status report for June. You will see on the average gallons per day of water pumped, we were pushing 337,000 gallons of water. We had a situation with the Board of Education. The athletic field was resodded at Manchester Valley High School. Our operators thought we had a leak in the system. They were out searching, and they found that they were watering the new sod at the athletic field. Numbers went from 70,000 gallons a day used to 80,000 gallons to 90,000 gallons. I went through the correct administrative end of it, and at the end of the day, we blew through probably close to maybe 1.5 million, 2 million gallons a day going on that field. So finally, we got them stopped. We got them slowed down, and I've been told, and I don't know this for sure, but apparently there was too much water put on the field, and the sod is not taken. So that's an issue, and we have to be prepared for things like that. So that's an issue. Under wastewater, work has begun with the University of Maryland Conserve Group, and I talk about that every month. That's the water reuse project at the spray fields. They've come out the last several weeks and grabbed samples, and we picked a spot out there where we're going to actually do the program out the spray fields. Under stormwater, the Route 27 Stormwater Management Facility, there's been no change. The Whispering Valley Stormwater Management Facility retrofit, we had a meeting here on June 30th with the downstream residents on Ferry Road to discuss any concerns they may have. We did have one resident come in, and the county folks explained what was going on down there, and they had no problem with that. Southwestern Boulevard Storm Drain Pipe Project, the resurfacing of the roadway still needs to be completed. So if you get any concerns about that, which I talked to a lady today at the front window, we are actually letting that area settle before we go in there. I mean, it's extensive. We have to mill back off of that area, so we have to let it settle a little bit. I think we have cones around. I know we have cones
You do,
around
and
the
you have the
actual
lights,
inlet.
yeah.
Correct. So hopefully over the next month or so, we'll get that resurfaced. Also, 2 storm drain inlets on Overlook Court have been repaired. Maintenance roads and parks, the skate park project, work's begun on the ramp rebuild, and they're about 25% complete. Our folks are doing that. The siding replacement on the post office building is complete, and the concrete floor in the storage building at the maintenance shop is 75% complete. You approved that at the last meeting. That started this week, and it's pretty much finished. My last item is I'd like to send our condolences out to Donnie Knott. Donnie is our Director of Public Works. Unfortunately, Donnie's mom passed away Sunday evening. She will be missed. She was an asset to the community. So if you could keep Donnie and his family and the Knott family in your prayers, I'd appreciate it. So, anything else for me?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Can we back up to item 2 under the water, the athletic field watering of sod? I might have missed something. The county resodded the field.
Yes, that's correct.
Who's responsible for watering it?
Actually, I was assuming that staff was. When we went, our operators went to the head custodian. He was actually getting his orders from higher up,
Who's higher up?
the athletic director. So when I called the athletic director, as you know, they're switching athletic directors. The athletic director that I thought was coming to Manchester Valley said he'll try to help me out, but at that time he was still at North Carroll.
Who initiated the watering?
It had to come from central offices.
That's what I was getting at.
Yes.
It wasn't us.
Oh, no.
Oh,
was
no, it
not.
wasn't.
No, no, no.
I'm just asking for clarification. I just want to make sure who
And-
I'm going to be upset with.
And
That's all.
Councilman Pacelli, if they would have come to us, we would have helped. We had no clue what was going on. We were in the blind. We would have worked with them.
Now, it got overwatered, and there may be a risk that the sod didn't take.
Could
And
be.
the way you delivered that message was that these things happen, and we may have some responsibility with that, but we're not.
No, what I was getting at, that's just the beginning of issues that we will be having
Understood.
at Manchester Valley
Okay.
High School.
It almost sounded like we might be on the hook for the sod.
We are not.
No,
Not
no,
at
no.
all.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
interpreted
Right.
partially in the beginning.
Yeah.
No, to clarify, I think that that's just the beginning. And,
So I'll give you guys a little bit extra color on this. I don't mind doing this piece on the record, but I don't know when staff changed over, but the athletic director caught me as picking my son up from a workout out there. He caught me as I was getting into my car and said, hey, just lots of exciting things going on, getting new sod down on the field, so we're going to be watering it. He said, you know what the rules are? So I explained what I understood as the water rules are. Well, we have this, some of you were here, we put in this green, yellow, red system a number of years ago that had to do with average well depths
Drought
and those sort of
management,
things.
correct.
Right, it's a whole drought. And we haven't had significant issues with drought recently, but back in the 03, 04, 05 time, we did. And we had to be prepared for that if it comes around again. So I said, well, if it's new seeding, right, so if everything had been taken off, which it was, and they put down wherever they sand, I don't know how they do it, but if it's new seeding, you're allowed to water new seeding, right? And the athletic field really isn't that big in terms of what, let's say a new neighborhood is much bigger, right? So I said, all right, you're allowed to water it as long as, check the town website, it doesn't move to yellow, because then you can't, or red, definitely not. But then you should be good. Now, I think they constituted that as a meeting, like asking a question as I'm getting into my car. And then separately, I think they just turned, I don't know, Lord knows how many hoses on and just ran them 24 hours a day. As opposed to you water your grass, you take it off. So about the time we noticed this, I noticed it was up there running multiple hoses in the rain. So rain's coming down and they just have 4 sprinklers just full blast.
I don't know. I think that our office staff estimated the water bill, the water and sewer bill will be thousands of dollars. But that's not the thing. The thing is, it's a natural resource. Help us
Taxing
out.
our system.
Help us out,
How many gallons approximately they use?
Maybe 1.5 million, 2 million. We have it all
1.5 million gallons. I suspect the county will cover the cost of the new sod, but they're going to again come to us for our water.
Sure.
So they might need another 1 million
Well,
gallons.
they need to pay for the water.
Yes, it's water and, I mean, they're
You're right,
charged.
right. Problem is,
Water and
you take 1
sewer.
million gallons of water and
Doing it a second
Right.
time
and
potentially.
we hope there's not a drought.
Right. It's just, it was kind of a, I mean, it wouldn't be funny if it wasn't so predictable that you could have new sod and then not be able to just put a little bit of water down without messing that up and getting root rot out of it. But, so, I agree with Mr. Miller. Hopefully it is not a sign of what we're in store for. But
Steve, just a quick question, because I think I agree with you. I think we're going to have some concerned citizens coming in with sidewalk repairs. The ordinance is pretty clear what standard they have to meet in their repair.
And actually, the sidewalks that Mr. Schweitzer was speaking about, which, letters were sent out last year, as I mentioned last month. Some sections should be replaced, but most of the areas, they need some repair. So, I don't think there's any out there that needs completely reconstructed. Now, there are 2 anchorings that it would be nice to be reconstructed. So we will work with we will work with that. But,
another question following up on that, is this something that, to be fair to all areas and sidewalks and conditions of sidewalks in town, is this something we're responding to on a complaint basis, or something where the town has some idea and is making some assessment of the condition of sidewalks on different streets? Therefore, you see what I'm saying? So if I drive by Dale's house and say, I know you don't have sidewalks and I don't need a soil, I say, sidewalks at Dale's house are terrible, and I'm going to make a call just to go stick him. Where the sidewalks at Vince's house are much worse, but Vince is my friend, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, we were advised by our attorney when I spoke to him that we're going to, look at the Westminster Street area first. We have areas on York Street that need repair. We can move to that area next. We have areas on Grafton Street that need repairs. So yes, we're going to look at these different areas.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're protected and it's not seen as we're going after one area.
Actually, back in 1989, after I did some research on that, that zoomed in on the Main Street sidewalks. That's when the sidewalks were in pretty bad shape before the Main Street project took off back in the 2000, and that's what Mayor Lippy was looking at back in 1989. So I want to make sure that resolution we're on solid ground with that resolution that was passed in 89.
Okay. Anything else for the town administrator? All right, move to the town police report. Chief?
Good evening, everybody. The report should be short. We had a pretty good month. We did respond to 60 calls for service. We only had 1 Part 1 crime. We conducted 2 arrests. They were both for traffic. We have been handling the speeding problem along Southwestern and Charmel. It's a continuing problem, and quite frankly, it involves a lot of residents that live directly in the area. We have issued 18 state citations, 38 warnings. For crime, year to date, we have 8 Part 1 crimes in comparison to 10 last year, which was an all-time low for the town of Manchester. 2016 year to date, the county has recorded 175 overdoses, 76 were directly related to heroin, with 16 fatalities. Same period last year, we recorded 102, and we had 34 heroin related and 14 fatalities. So there is an increase in the numbers. Unfortunately, Manchester, this time last year we had 0. Today we have 5. Out of the 5, we've had 2 repeats. 1 was medically related. One of the gentlemen who overdosed twice in our town subsequently had his last overdose in Glen Rock, where he died. So it is a continuing problem. We're trying to stay on top of it. We try to stay on top of our dealers, and Manchester's doing a pretty good job at it. We do have the lowest, but it's a daunting task, I'm not gonna lie to you. On a positive note, we did have the carnival in the last part of June, first part of July. We had an excellent carnival. There was no big problems. We have National Night Out coming out on August 2nd. National Night Out is held the first Tuesday of every August. It started in 1984. It originally started to combat violence, drug prevention, crimes, things of that nature. It has now expanded more to a community partnership building type deal where all 50 states are involved, towns, municipalities, the military bases worldwide are involved, and the Canada Police Department, the Canadians are joining forces with us. So it's really expanded. Everybody's involved on the same night, which is August 2nd. Ours will be from 6 until 8. We have joined forces with the fire department, Manchester Volunteer Fire Department. The Manchester Merchants are joining forces with us, and am I missing anybody? As far as the churches, as far as the law enforcement, Maryland State Police, since we're so small, they really contribute to our National Night Out. We'll have the helicopter coming in. We'll have the special teams from the state police coming in. Last year we had Baltimore County officers because there's a lot of officers up here in the Manchester-Hampstead area. We're going to have the National Guard up there with a rock wall. Last year I climbed it. I think this year the mayor's going to climb it, or at least maybe the council president who watched me climb it and then
videotaped it.
Videotaped it, watched
If
me
I
fall
recall,
off
you
on
didn't
it.
make it to the top.
3/4.
It was the dress shoes, please.
I
it
had to
was the dress
rescue that
shoes.
kid. That kid got stuck up
It was a
there.
dress.
Actually, the kid
I
was
had to-
laughing at you when he got to the top. But he was standing on you, I think, at the top, but that's a whole other story. Just come and
So-
watch this year.
Councilperson Jennifer Warner wants me to get into the dunking booth this year, so I think I'll take that challenge and do that. It'll probably be pretty cold, but that's okay.
We'll
At the
make
bowl.
sure it's cold.
Who's doing the bowl?
Yeah.
Steve again?
Nice.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
not?
but all in all, everything's good. If you got any questions or concerns, please let me know. If you don't want to do them in an open forum, my door's always open, my email's open, my phones are open, so just contact me. Yes, ma'am.
Where is the night out?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's gonna be at the carnival grounds, the activity building. It'll take up the whole area up there. The food's free. Are we having a bike giveaway this year?
Yes.
A bike giveaway. They'll have popcorn, they'll have pizza, they'll have hot dogs, they'll have hamburgers, drinks. No hamburgers? All right, no hamburgers.
dogs.
Hot dogs.
Popcorn.
How about funnel cake?
Yeah.
See the little ones?
Balloons, they love it.
It's a good time.
It's neat.
We get a lot of positive feedback, so it's a good time.
It is a good one.
It really is. And we take it serious too. There will be literature on crime prevention. A lot of times people talk to us about home security, what's happening around the neighborhood. We'll talk to them. We'll have representatives from the state's attorney's office. So it's pretty informative as well.
There you go.
Yes, for the chief. No, and great job with the carnival. In addition to obviously, Steve I think was up there every night when he wasn't trying to set things on fire. But we with very good representation from the town, town staff, town residents volunteering a lot of time up there, and then all of the police officers work every single night in conjunction with Boy Scouts and auxiliary to do things like parking and keep things in order. So a lot of things going on underneath the surface to keep the carnival in good shape and a safe environment. I think we got off with no real major incidents really this year.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, which is good. So it's a lot of people in a confined space with a lot going on at night, moving cars and things. So, great job for another carnival. All right, ordinance 224. So, we had the public hearing at the beginning. We introduced this last month in June. So again, this is
You did the intent, the resolution is the intent to reimburse. This is the actual. this is
the actual
resolution,
ordinance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Sorry.
So this is the introduction.
This is gonna have to be an emergency ordinance due to the timing of the settlement of the bond
Okay.
class.
Okay, so, I understand, make sure we say this correctly for the record. Typically with an ordinance, you introduce it, it sits for a public period, it's advertised, and then you vote. We can do an emergency ordinance if it meets certain criteria. For this particular ordinance, we did an intent to do it 1 month, and then we're submitting it as an emergency ordinance, which really fits the same schedule as what an ordinance would, and then we inserted the public hearing. Is that correct? Does that make sure I say it right for the record? Okay. So ordinance will introduce as an emergency ordinance 224 for the issuance of up to $2.1 million in debt for the construction of a new town hall and police station. The motion's been introduced. Any discussion, or do we have a motion and a second if there's any serious discussion beyond that?
No, I'll make a motion that we approve emergency ordinance number 224, issuing up to $2,100,000 debt for the construction of a new town hall and police station.
I'll second. I'm sorry.
Go
I'll
right ahead.
second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second on ordinance number 224. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ordinance 224 carries. Kelly, is this the official copy?
Yeah, is it on the large one?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's bad if I doodle on it?
No, Tracy.
All right. Tracy, anybody sign in? I know that we have some folks who just don't have your name tags today.
But you know us, right?
I recognize most of you.
Okay.
Understood. Is everybody here from Castlefield?
Very good.
Is there anybody that would like to say anything on the record? No?
Okay.
Not this
Okay.
time? Okay. All right, we'll show for the record that there's a group from Castlefield attended for the July meeting. All right, no questions or comments from the community? I did see Mark come in, didn't I? There's Mark. Mark, do you have anything? No. We'll move on to committee reports. Councilman Smith?
Okay. The cable commission meeting is on Thursday, so I'll have a report next time. Couple quick things, if I could just add to it. You said about the Banner City designation, so that's done. The town hall, we were just there, we paid a visit, it's wonderful, so that'll be really neat. We can share it with you guys, and you can sit in there. And hopefully that'll be maybe in a month or so.
We could be down there the last couple of
Or
months.
so?
I'm not making any progress.
Okay. Maybe by September? No.
Savor the last few meetings over here.
Yeah. At the MML, at the convention, there was a lot of neat information that came out. I will say that if you get a chance, there's so much information I have to share, which I really can't share here. I need to share with everybody here first. But if you get a chance, go online and look at this motivational speaker. His name was Jason Roberts. He had an amazing story to tell. It was just about basically everybody in the town working together. He would organize it, the town would get together, and they would do things versus us having to say, well, first we have to get approved this much money to do it. The town would get together. He did amazing things. It was really neat. At the end, he ended up being diagnosed with cancer, and then he was well. But just if you get a chance to look at that, was really neat. And it kind of applies to our town, too. It was more of a city area where he was from, but a very small area, so it was kind of neat. Maybe something that we could think about, start doing. So it'd be pretty neat just to look him up. It was neat. He was out of Texas. His name was Jason Roberts. But other than that, there was a lot of informative things at the MML. I learned a lot. It was my first year there, so looking forward to maybe going again next year. But that's all I have.
Okay. Councilman Warner?
All right, a couple things that I want to share. During the parade, this year again, I handed out flyers for National Night Out. I handed out approximately 250 of them to the community, and I got a lot of positive feedback. As soon as people saw my shirt that said Town of Manchester and heard me say National Night Out, oh, we love it, that's the best thing that the town does. There was a lot of positive feedback and a lot of people really looking forward to it who have said, we do this every year and this is the best thing that the town has to offer, in their opinion. The other thing that I wanted to share was at the MML meetings that I was able to attend, I only registered for part of the time because of work obligations. I could not stay for the entire time, but I sat through some very interesting discussions on town branding and also on youth involvement with some great ideas that I want to run past the office. I've already kind of talked to Kelly about them a little bit, but some ideas of some ways to get youth more involved in our town.
Excellent. Councilman Shelley?
The next Manchester Merchants Association meeting is July 21st at Dutch Corner. And Steve, if you could, I don't have the next date for Sustainability Committee on the top of my head.
Actually, Jim and Jared Schumacher stopped by Town Hall today, and the information is compiled, and probably, we didn't settle on a date, but it'll probably be August or September when our next meeting is.
Very good, thank you. That would be it.
Okay, Councilman Howe?
There was a Parks meeting last night, and there is a bocce tournament on Saturday. And there's only 13 teams, okay? So you guys might want to, they'd like to have 15 or 16 teams. I see 2 more teams sitting here. So if you're interested, you can call the Nature Center at 410-374-3395. They're also looking for a part-time naturalist because our naturalist at the end of the year will be leaving the state. Again, if you're interested, and it's just a part-time position, you call the Nature Center. And don't forget the photo contest. You can get applications and information at the town hall, the library. And I'd also like to say congratulations to Justin Watts. He's a member of the board, the Parks Board. He was promoted to principal, and he will be the new principal at Ebb Valley. So that was nice. And on a separate note, I've got 2 things that I've asked Kelly Baldwin to help me with. I know we've had some complaints about newsletters and such. So I was thinking that maybe we could do a calendar like this that we could send out to everybody every year for the 12 months with activities, if we put them on there, from like the fire department, the Lions Club, the town parks, the wrecking parks, businesses, and with all pertinent information and ordinance information and things like that. So Kelly and I are looking at that. That's a nice time to tell you. And we're also looking at doing some banners for like hometown heroes, trying to maybe get together with the families and maybe the American Legion or whoever it is to put some banners of our hometown heroes throughout our streetlights. So these are 2 things that Kelly and I are working on, and that's it.
I think the bocce tournaments, I think Mr. DePalmer has a lot of signs out now, too.
Yeah, because
Thank
you
you.
really want, because you'll have to draw up a new bracket
Yeah.
thing. So I see 2 teams sitting right there.
How many people on the team?
TK don't know.
I think it's 4.
One team?
Does that ring a bell? He's been in here to talk about, I think it's 4 people on a bocce team.
There's 4 people on that team.
Yeah.
If we can't do Saturday, there's one in August. August the something. And that's it for me.
Okay. Councilman Wilder?
Okay, we had one agenda item on the June Planning and Zoning meeting, and that was our review of the preliminary plan from number 1 North Liquors. They took our recommendations from the state, county, and the Planning and Zoning Commission. They incorporated those, so we did approve their preliminary plans. So they'll move forward now with more formal plans. They'll come back in the future.
And that's to move up the street a
Yes.
little bit.
And Planning and Zoning, we'll continue with our planning meetings for the comprehensive plan. We'll probably have a number of meetings before we get that resolved. Now with the school decision, I'm sure that'll play into our decisions on how we go forward, but we'll continue with that. We do have a little bit of time. For those who aren't aware, we have to put a comprehensive plan in place every 10 years. Our last plan was put into effect in 2008. So we have a little bit of time, but we want to be ahead of the curve as much as possible. Other than that, I, along with Mayor Warner, attended the joint Maryland Municipal League meeting between Frederick and Carroll counties a few weeks ago, and that was a good opportunity to socialize with other representatives from other counties and see the kind of issues they deal with also. So, good meeting. That's it.
Nothing new from Old Town.
No meeting before last. We kind of sent them off to.
I think we talked about that last meeting before last. They sent him back to get some more plans.
So we don't know when they're coming back.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Andrew Epley?
The August 29th, first day of school. I am not sure about the Stampede yet. I know it will be the first week of school, I believe. So either first week of September or last week of August. And there's a new game out. It's called Pokemon Go. I'm sure. I don't know. Have you heard anything about it yet?
Go ahead, I have some questions about that, seriously, I do.
So it's a game where I want to say kids, but adults are playing it too. Where you go out, it's like Pokemon, except you actually go outside, catch them, and there's different like stops where you can collect Pokeballs. Town Hall here, the War Memorial is one, post office, churches, Christmas Tree Park, and there's gyms where you can battle at too. The problem is with people trespassing and, I don't know, playing while they're driving that I believe pose an
It's
issue
on your
with
phone.
it.
It's downloaded
Yeah.
on your phone.
Now, you answered my question, because over the last 4 days, I've been asking questions because there's groups of people in areas where they normally aren't. Like up in the parking lot of the carnival ground. And I'm talking groups of 6 to 8 people, and people are asking me, what are these people doing? They all have their cell phones out. So tonight on the news, I saw it, and you answered my question. And, I have seen a group out here in front of the War Memorial, different places at the church, that's the road. So that's what they're doing.
I know the sheriff's office issued a statement out earlier on Facebook. I saw one because was it Baltimore County where people were.
So what's going on now is supposed to promote activity, and it was really supposed to be geared towards walking, almost like a treasure hunt. But now, people have found a way to manipulate it. They're setting up
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It has nothing to do with Pokemon Go.
You got the ones who are trying to set up robberies, and then you also have the kids that are stopping in the middle of a highway or in a roadway to collect one of these.
Yeah, I don't
So the trespassing is like the lighter note, wandering around aimlessly. I see that in a lot of places.
So how many do you have so far?
But it's it's when you get the other factors involved, it becomes a little bit dangerous.
So which one of the town employees has the most Pokemon so far?
I don't know, too. I just saw it on the news tonight, it made sense to me.
So I think
I'm gonna go with Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew, he's setting me straight on that.
didn't this come out like 6 days ago?
That was not even
Yeah.
a week yet.
I was reading about it last night.
It's
I
already a
think that-
national phenomenon.
And that's about when it started,
In the roadway, I think it comes like 3D. So if
Yeah.
you're going down Main Street, it's got the layout.
I think the bad news is that this is like the first of the mainstream, what they call augmented reality games, that use your GPS to interface with your phone or with your camera on your phone. So then what's showing up in your screen is different from what would really be there. So there will be next generations that become more and more distractive. Well, it'd probably also be used for tracking.
He has a question, Ryan.
That long cord just wasn't long enough.
If you're interested, I saw a Facebook post today in Prince William County in Virginia, on cautioning people various things that they're doing in Pokemon. It's very interesting, and I'd be first out for you, for the police department to look at that.
I will, thank you, sir.
What's up? Anything else for this group? Is that it, Andrew? If you hear of the Maverick Stampede before we do, if you can forward that through us so we can get it out, and I can get it, any rec council activities, we try to stay away from that day too, because we want to keep access to Christmas Tree Park as clear as possible, which will be even more important now because it's crowded with construction. So,
And we would like to include the school activities on the calendar too, so, also. So that would be, hopefully we can get one out maybe the first of the year.
School, mama.
Yeah, everything.
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 Okay. Anything else? None. Make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second it.
All's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Good night. See you in August.